Welcome to the welcome to the celibacy podcast where two celibate boys talk about celibate things. I'm here,
Oh,
Mike. I'm your co-host, MegaRedsFan, here with my co-host,
Palebred Painter.
and welcome to the celibate podcast. I would probably bomb the Pacific.
Interesting.
Why? I don't know. I think it'd look cool. Post
Wanna
that one
see
on
the
Facebook.
explosion?
Or Meta. I mean Meta.
Yeah. Ooh, that'd be interesting. Just blot out the sky with smoke. Oh god. Oh no.
I just want to say this on the record. Pokimane has bigger balls than Ninja. I'm gonna say it. It's true.
Yes, and he walks forward a step, and 4 scissors come down and lodge themselves into the floor, into the carpet, because they fell from the ceiling.
Facebook Live.
Oh my god. This is so wrong. This is so wrong. Welcome to my Facebook Live, guys. Jesus Christ.
Welcome to the TGOM podcast. Last week I want to apologize. Last week's episode ended quite abruptly. That was my bad. So I pressed spacebar on accident, which, fun fact, stops recordings. So I restarted it.
No.
And we did an extra 20 minutes of talking just about video games because we realized we hadn't talked about video games the whole time, and that's like our whole podcast. So we talked about that, and then I tried to stop it, and it did not stop. So we sat there for like an extra 10 minutes, and I was like, okay, whatever. So I just closed out of OBS, opened it back up, and the recording was not there. So we redid it. And that's what you heard, sort of. So what happened was we started redid it, and we were gonna do it just fast off the cuff, which we already do off the cuff, but you know what I mean. And then my internet just gave out, and you can hear it in the podcast, like in the final few seconds of the episode. You can hear, because I say something at the beginning, right at the beginning of the end. I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna finish it off. And then, like a full 5 seconds later, you then laugh at what I said.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
no.
hilarious. Anyways, so this week we're gonna finish up. We're gonna clarify what we were talking about, and then we'll move on to other topics that I have lined up myself, and no one has helped me with. So Nick, what purchase did you make while in a fever dream?
Of course, jumping right into it. So,
Yeah, we gotta
I bought.
get it over with since we swore not to talk
course.
about it.
So I bought Security Breach for a second time for my PC. It was not my fault, I promise. I swear, I wasn't in the right mind. I don't even remember doing it. I just woke up one day and it was downloaded onto my computer. And I was like, oh, I guess that's there now.
Huh.
Like, oh, it's wild. It's funny because I didn't get the actual email saying that I made a purchase until like 3 days after I saw it on the downloads. So I at first I was like, did I just like pirate this game? Like I was high key wondering. I was like, okay, how did I get this game? I must have bought it, right? Right?
Uh-huh.
And like I just couldn't find any purchase history on Steam or on my banking app. I just couldn't find it. I was looking after the podcast and I was like, it's got to be somewhere, right? So I started
Yeah.
thinking, did I pirate this game? Like I was like, okay, that makes sense. Maybe that's why that's why the walls glitch out sometimes. You know, it makes sense. Yeah. No, 3 days later, I get an email saying, here is the amount of the game that you purchased. I was like, oh, okay, so this is just the actual game, and this is how it runs. Okay. Goodness. That
Yeah.
game is a dumpster fire, but it's so fun. Yeah. So a bit of what I talked about last time that I'm sure got cut out is
Yeah, it did. It all got cut out.
I've been finding ways to speedrun that game by breaking the walls. Like the PS4 version much better, and like just because it actually runs and doesn't unload the whole world all the time. Um, I mean, to be fair, this glitch has been helping me speed run through the game a second time. But like, I'm doing things you are not supposed to be able to do. Like, I I made it into Phaser Blast by running through a wall in the West Arcade, and I found myself playing Phaser Blast, and I suddenly had it in my hand. I was like, oh, so now I can do this then, huh?
Hmm.
So then I took the thing, got the ticket for Mazer Size, or not Mazer Size, whatever the thing is, doesn't matter, and
Yeah.
then phased out of the world again to get back to the previous area. So I completely skipped the fact that you have to get a party pass to even enter that room. So I got the true ending of the game before I even got Roxy's eyes.
So,
Uh,
um, so when you skipped into Phaser Blast, like, did it
uh-huh.
skip the time ahead too, to like where it should have been, or was it still like
Nope.
midnight?
So the way Phaser Blast and Gator Golf work,
Oh,
it's
and please
supposed to
tell it
be,
in a abridged version. Don't explain
of
it
course,
completely. Sorry.
yeah. Um, they it's an option of either or, so it doesn't actually skip the time, except for when you've actually done their boss fight or whatever, and both of them skip the time to the exact same time. So once you're already past that, you know, uh, kind of doesn't do anything. Unless I had already gotten Roxy's eyes or whatever, then it might have gone back, but I'm not actually completely sure. Um, but
Okay.
yeah, it didn't change anything. All that changed was Chico was gone, I upgraded Freddy, and I got the gun, and now I'm
Huh.
wrecking everyone with that gun because
Huh.
oh, another thing about the PC, this is actually a plus side. Shooting that gun way easier.
Oh yeah.
I like because there's a setting they don't tell you about it, of course, because
Of
why would
course.
they? Why
Yeah.
why would they tell you you can turn on a cursor that shows you where it shoots? Anyway,
Yeah.
I was kind of mad when I found out that that was an option on the PC version.
Uh huh.
It might be on the PS4. I don't know. They don't tell me. But yeah, I was able to turn on a reticle or something. I guess is what it's called.
A reticule.
It's like, yeah,
Reticule.
yeah,
Reticule.
something like
Yeah.
that. Something like that. And I was like, oh, well, this is a nice thing to have. I wish this was something that was on by default, because it only shows up if you're holding the gun, only.
Mhm.
So it's like, why is that not on by default?
Because they hate you.
They do hate you. The people that made that game specifically hate you. It's yeah,
You're talking
yeah.
about me? Are
Honestly,
you saying they hate me?
well, no, they hate anyone who plays that
Oh
game.
no, you're just saying specifically you. So
Not specifically you, Mega
okay,
Reds fan.
it's because I just don't like the game. I guess. Sorry.
Yes, they're targeting you specifically. They made a game that you would hate.
Yeah, I legit like you didn't hear this. Obviously, you did, but they didn't. I completely forgot finesse security breach existed until I saw a clip on Twitter of Monty Gator floating across the or hovering across the floor, and I was like, oh yeah, that's a game, by the way. Um,
Dude, that's so funny.
and it's the same thing with Call of Duty Vanguard. I forgot that was a game
Oh
until
yeah.
I saw there's like these weird cursed gun videos where they make like these because like all the Call of Duty games all first person shooters now have to have like super modernized, like you can switch everything out on your weapon and make it different. So this guy like makes his guns as like unusable as possible. Um, and there
That's
was
what.
and
Huh.
there was one with it's like World War II stuff, and I was like, is he playing Call of Duty World War II, the one that came out like 10 years ago? And I was like, oh wait, no, it's just Vanguard, the one that I forgot about. Yeah,
Honestly, like all of the Call of Duty blames,
Blames.
they all kind of yeah, blames. I love blames.
Mm-hmm.
Um, they all kind of blur together in my mind, so
Yeah,
I don't know where one starts and the other's end. Like it's like
yeah,
they're all the same game.
yeah. They are.
Like they have mechanic differences and map differences, I guess, but like they're all the same game. I
Yeah.
don't. I listen. Like, I don't understand why people like Call of Duty. I'm gonna be honest. Like,
I mean, I see the appeal kind of, but I also like I like first person shooters, but I also don't really care for Call of Duty. Really,
just
I
play
like
like Doom or like
I yeah,
Halo.
that's what I'm saying. I like Doom. Wolfenstein is also really cool.
That one's a
Uh,
good one. Yeah.
um, and Wolfenstein may also just because of a nostalgic thing, because that's like the first violent video game I ever saw, because my dad played it a lot. Um, so yeah, Wolfenstein, Doom, and Borderlands 2 is also a fun first person shooter.
Borderlands 2 is
Yeah,
very fun when I'm able to,
when you're able to
you
walk
know,
around without using a controller and WAS. That is so funny you have to
God,
do that.
I wish I had a third hand just to take a photo. I need to get someone. I need to like yell for my parents or something like take a photo of this with my phone, please. I must show people this. Like I I don't know how I'd play like that.
That
It's
is,
kind of wild.
it's so funny to hear you like, I can't move backwards. I can't.
Like Jacob, get my back.
Uh,
Like I have to start walking sideways and moving like the mouse so that I can go back. And it's like, all right, just don't worry about me. I'm just gonna do a 360
yeah.
real quick and then I can go. It's like I'm a truck, just trying to like circle back around.
But I guess
Jesus.
the problem that I don't know, dude. You're right. Call of Duty is really boring now, and I guess I mean when it first came out in like Modern Warfare 1, Modern Warfare 2, those were like, oh, these are cool, and then they did it Modern Warfare 5, Black Ops
Like
4. It's like, okay, guys,
they're kind of all
pump
the
the
same
brakes,
game.
okay?
Yeah.
you know,
Like
come up with something different. Come out with
they're
Skylanders again. Do a Skylanders battle royale. That's what we need. You know.
like they all of their games really are just the same game. Like I think the only reason it's still popular is because multiplayer zombies. I think that is what keeps them
I
alive.
th- I think it's just multiplayer. And first, no, people don't like the zombies anymore.
Really?
They made the zombies super arcade like. Okay, another another problem I have with first person shooters is that now, even with Wolfenstein, some of the new Wolfenstein games have health bars over the enemies. Like, stop! I don't want a health bar over. That's so annoying. Like, I don't want to know how much damage I'm doing to this person.
It kind of
Um,
ruins the scare factor.
yeah, like with Doom, if all the enemies in Doom had health bars, I would be like, okay, this is stupid. Like
Yeah,
the
I
new
feel ya.
Dying Light game has health bars, which you can turn off, thank God. But it's like, why? Why do I need health bars? You
That
know?
is that is an option that I wish that they would provide. It's like, okay, cool, thanks for giving me this information, but I don't
Yeah.
want it.
I
So
mean,
let me turn it off.
in Borderlands it works because it's kind of a in Borderlands it works. But in like Wolfenstein and Doom it does not work. In Call of Duty, I don't think health bars should be in that kind of a game, really.
Yeah, like it works in Borderlands because that's literally an RPG. Like,
Yeah, yeah,
a modern RPG, but like still, like there are
cool
level up.
RPG
Yeah, like
with
there's level
gambling.
up in stats. Literally, yeah. Um, like yeah, it has all of the elements of an RPG. Like so, it makes sense to
Yeah.
know what your opponent's health is at because like
Hmm.
okay, yeah, cool, cool, cool. This works. But like games like Doom, it doesn't. It or like Doom and Wolfenstein, it wouldn't make sense because I don't know. It feels like
And
those
it,
games are like
sorry.
it's supposed to give you visual cues to know when they're being weakened and stuff. Like,
Yeah,
oh, their sprite seems to be like slightly weakened, or like there's more
yeah.
blood on their sprite.
Yeah,
It's like visual cues instead of showing you like flat out a health bar to make you feel immersed and make you feel scared.
and
Because when you
there's
don't see that, it's scary.
yeah, yeah. I agree. There's one boss battle in Wolfenstein: The Old Blood where it's really funny. So you go into this bar with like these French resistance fighters or whatever,
Hmm.
and they get into the basement as like Nazis are busting in, and you go through like a wave, like multiple waves of them, and you're like, all right, you guys can come out now. And then the big boss comes in, he was like, never mind. And he turns around. And anyway, that's not what I was talking about, but that's just funny to me. And the whole boss battle, what you do, you gotta shoot him because there's like these Tesla coils on his, because it's really like not cyberpunk, but it's really like retro futuristic. Like
Oh,
Wolfenstein's always been kind of like that, with like the Nazis have super technical stuff, but you can just break it
yeah.
by shooting it, which is awesome. I mean, it's that's such a me thing to like just shoot it and break it until it doesn't work anymore, you know.
Yeah. Oh,
But
I get. Yeah. Oh
anyways, so
man.
you have to shoot the Tesla coils to like turn his power suit off, his power armor off, and then he like falls to his knees. Then you run up to him and rip off his armor. You have to do it like 4 times or something, and then like the last
Uh-huh.
piece is like on his chest, and then you just lay into his chest until he dies. And it's the best, like one of the funnest boss fights, because like the progressive, just like, you know, damage you do to
Yeah.
him until he's finally dead, and then you stab him in the head with a razor sharp pipe. It's really sick. It's so metal.
I feel you. So it feels like super. It's like it feels like a super intense boss fight, and you gotta
Yeah,
like keep going, and then you're just like, all right, I've destroyed all of this armor that's protecting you. Now I'm just gonna like completely
yeah,
destroy your
yeah.
existence.
It's
Goodbye
really,
now.
it's fun. Okay. Um, but yeah, health bars are stupid in first person shooters. I don't. Yeah,
Yeah.
and it like lets you know what kind of weapon you should use. I know we should move on from this,
Oh, that's a lot. Yeah,
cause
that's
like
giving a
it,
lot of
cause like
information.
it tells you if it's an armored enemy, if it's a normal enemy, you know, stuff like that. And it's like, just give that in like a visual cue. You know, make the guy look chunky or
Yeah.
something. Don't just be like, hey,
Make
use
it look
this weapon
chunky.
against this guy. You know, it's like,
Like
come on.
I feel like you could do like an auditory cue, like if they're an armored enemy and regulars don't affect them as much, make the bullet sound different when it hits,
Yeah,
like tink tink tink, instead
yeah.
of like so it
It's
sounds like it's hitting the floor instead of like piercing, you know.
yeah.
Um, like and instead of like a powered up pew sound whenever you shoot like an
Phew.
energy shot or something, go pew. Like I don't know, make it low instead.
Yeah, I don't
So it
know.
sounds like it fades away. Like I feel like there's a ways around that without completely showing you. I don't know. That is a
Yeah,
lot.
there are. I mean, they've done it for
Yeah, like
who knows how long. And then now they're like, we got to make it easier. Let's give them health bars. So the
I think
character.
that's just how games are. Like for the that's just how new games are. I don't know why, but a lot of games these days are just like, all right, let's spoon feed them the game. It's like
And they're
why?
also, lots
No,
of games are just easy. I'm not
for
to
no
sound
reason.
like a. I used to play Atari when I had 10 blocks on my screen and I had to find my way to play it. You know?
That's literally me though.
But,
Continue.
um, oh man, what was I going to say? Now I'm thinking of Atari. Like, okay, as I think about this, let me give another
Oh,
opinion of
man.
mine. My dad plays Atari all the time. He
Uh-huh.
owns like an actual Atari
That's actually sick.
and like a replica, and yeah, it's cool
Dude, that's
to
so
play like
cool.
once every month maybe, because after you play it that one time, like man, this sucks. I want to go play like Borderlands now, or you know something that has that where I can like kind of tell what I'm supposed to be doing. It has more than just one button and a stick, you know. But that's
See,
anyways.
that's I think that's where we're a bit different because like I'm literally playing a game on
Oh
an NES emulator. Like I was doing that like yesterday or whatever,
yeah.
like when it
Well,
was like 11.
whatever, dude. You know, we're
Like
different. We already know that.
I'm a retro gamer, bro. That
Yeah.
that's my whole jam. I'm
So,
like, dude, I love these hard games where you don't understand anything you're supposed to do because they literally told you once and refused to re-say.
I
God.
yeah, I
Oh,
like a challenge. I don't want it to be like they don't tell you what to do.
yeah,
But I do
all
like a
games are kind of
challenge.
bad like that. Yeah, I like a challenge, and I've gotten so used to like them literally not telling you. You'll just like spend hours like wandering. It's like okay,
Yeah.
I'll figure it out eventually. There was a game I played where it's like you were supposed to talk to these 12 wizards, but you had to talk to one of them from behind because then he's like, "Oh, that's weird. Why are you doing that? Anyway, have a boat so you can sail on the seas." I'm like, "What?"
Jeez.
Like I was so mad. I was like, "Why did I have to talk to him from
That
behind to get the boat?"
that that
Like it
reminds dude.
uh, it
That
was so
reminds me
annoying.
of Persona 4, which is what I was going to talk about next. If you notice, I've changed my profile picture. That is Yukiko Amagi, the
I
best girl
have
from
noticed.
Persona 4. Don't at me, it's true. Um, okay. Yeah, Persona 4, it's pretty fun. I would know because this is my third time playing it. um,
Jesus.
yeah, I beat Kanji's boss like 2 days ago or something.
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah.
I was scared because on accident I selected normal difficulty, and after playing it the first time, I realized normal difficulty is too hard because I'm stupid. But anyway,
Oh.
so I played
Oh no.
Golden on normal until I had to stop because I hit a place where I couldn't continue anymore, which I found out I could have kept continuing. I was just doing it wrong. So two of
No.
those restarts I didn't need to do. I could have well
Oof.
beat the game by now, but that's neither here nor there. Um,
Now you know all of its secrets.
so
And oh god,
yeah,
unskippable dialogue.
so I beat Kanji on normal, and it really wasn't that hard. I was just playing the game wrong. I think I was just being stupid when I was playing it the first and second time.
So
Um,
to be fair, to you, Persona games, like the difficulty ramp up is insane sometimes.
yeah,
Like Persona 5 Royal, oh my god. Like I literally quit playing that game because of a certain boss fight. I always intended to go back, but like I was always like I could play that game and deal with that boss fight again, or I could play something else. And I always chose something else. Like
I hope I
it
don't do
was
that.
yeah, if you get Persona 5, just beware if you get Royal that there is a royal pain in the ass boss fight.
Nice.
Like thank you. Like there is a okay, real quick. His whole thing is he throws out minions. You have to kill the entire row of minions at once. So you have to use like an attack that hits all of them, right?
Yeah,
Kill them all, and he keeps throwing out rows and rows of them. They get
yeah.
stronger each time. And if for some reason only one of them die and not the others, they all self-destruct, dealing major damage to one, if not all of your party members, and then reset that row.
That sounds like
And
Persona.
there is a 20-minute timer to kill him.
There's a timer.
Yes.
That's
It's like a 20-30-minute timer, something one of those two,
what
where it's
difficulty
like
are you at? I guess.
normal.
Okay, good,
Yep.
awesome. I'm playing on easy, baby. No
Yeah. Wait.
shame.
Apparently you can change the difficulty anytime while playing.
Yeah,
I didn't
you
want to do
can't in
that though
Persona
because
4. I found that out the hard way.
dang.
You
Yeah,
can in
Persona
Golden, you
5
can
you
in
can.
4.
Okay. Jeez.
Um,
Yeah. So I know how difficult Persona games can be sometimes. Oh, although that particular boss fight, he doesn't have a timer in the original, and he also loses a mechanic where you have to kill all of the rows, I think.
so they made it harder in Royal.
Yep,
Cool.
majorly. For no
Nice.
reason. As far as I can tell, that's the only big difference they made, is that boss fight.
Well,
Everything else is pretty much the same,
yeah.
I guess.
Yukiko's boss, who's like no, Chie is the first. No, Yosuke is the first boss you fight. He's the easiest because he's the first one, and you only have one teammate, and it's yourself.
Mhm.
And then there's Chie, which, by the way, can I just say, all the personas have such a sick design. Like, all the character important ones.
Oh, mm-hmm.
Like, personally, I like, especially, I can only speak for Persona 4, but, like, they're all really cool. And they, like, speak to that character's internal turmoil, and it's so cool. Like,
Yes. Like,
yeah,
oh,
it's really well done.
I feel the
Um,
same way about Persona 5 and their character designs. Like, the Persona series is really good.
yeah. And when I first started playing Persona Gold or Persona 4 Golden, the very first time, I called them stands, and I still do sometimes jokingly, because they act a lot like stands.
They kind of are. And,
Yeah,
and, and, like, they're very similar.
yeah.
Like, when you think about it.
So jokingly, I was like, I used my stand, but that's neither here nor there. Um, yeah, Yukiko was way harder than Kanji because I only had to restart on Kanji because I kept timing his charge up attack wrong. So he like charges very first turn, and his two minions did like no damage, so I wasn't really worried about them. So he charges up very first turn. He goes. I thought he would then attack the second turn or like the third turn after, like so he would skip a turn and then go. No, every single time he went that second turn, and each time I was like, oh, he does it the third turn. So I
Okay, so you would read the charge up message being like, oh, he's about to charge.
yeah, it's no, it's like
So you thought he
Kanji
would
has
charge
charged
for two
up,
turns.
and then I'm like, okay, it's gonna take another turn for him to. It's gonna take like 2 turns for him to attack, and then he attacks that turn. I'm like, oh, oops. So I power off my PlayStation, turn it back on, do it again.
Oh,
It's like,
that's
oh, I
so
did
funny.
it for like the 10th time.
Oh, that's funny.
And then
Wow.
the very first time I went into it a few days ago, I turned it on. I was like, oh wait, he's gonna attack this turn. I should guard.
Yeah.
And then I just won because it was that easy. I just had to remember to guard.
So you just had to like, strategize
And then
think
he
about
ran
what
out of
to do.
SP, and so he like couldn't do any
Oh.
damage. And so I just
Oh,
beat
no.
the minion to this that. Okay, so there's 2 minions. One heals, and the other one doesn't, and he just does attack, like physical damage. So you kill the nice guy first, and then you kill that guy. And at that point, Kanji was already out of SP, so he was just like trying to use moves, and they weren't working. So
That is something I love about Persona is like they'll actually run out of like
SP,
ability to use their magic. Yeah. And like most games don't do that. They're like, nah, they just have infinite MP or SP or whatever we use. Just because we don't want to make it too easy on you. But Persona's like, no, they're done. The AI was dumb, used too much too quickly. They're done. You can just beat them up now. I'm like, oh, nice. It's so funny.
And by the way, Kanji is gay. So the last episode, I was like, I think he isn't gay, but he is like just tired of women because they treat him differently because he does like crocheting and stuff.
Yeah.
No, he is just straight up gay.
Hey, that's what's up. I need to pay 4 now.
Yeah. So he's like, he doesn't like to talk about it. Wait, how do I say this? How do I word
That's
this?
fair. Just not something he discusses very often.
Yeah, and he'll beat you up. Okay, so there's one scene I watched on YouTube of Yosuke asking Kanji if like this one guy was hot or something, and Kanji responds like, "Oh, did Yosuke say he wants me to beat the shit out of him or something?"
That is hilarious.
And it's so funny.
Oh my
Dude,
god.
Kanji is like my favorite character. Is one of my favorite characters.
All right,
so
just
funny.
that line alone. I think I've said something like that to someone.
It's so funny.
Oh yes, I love him. He is the best character. I need to play this game. So much. Oh.
And Yosuke is a lot worse than I remember him being. He's so homophobic and so perverted. It's so gross. So there's the one scene I took a picture of and sent to you where he was like, "Are we gonna be safe with you?"
I was like, what?
Yeah, there's that.
That's a bruh moment.
Later in that like cutscene, they like go to this they're like kind of school camp out, and there's like a river they can swim in, and Yosuke is like, "All right, guys, let's go swimming," and the girls and Yukiko and Chie, the girls, and my love Yukiko, they're like, "Oh, we don't have swimsuits." And we don't have swimsuits. And also, context: the 2 girls had to sleep in the guys' room because Kanji slept in theirs because Yosuke was like, "You don't have the balls, basically, to run into their tent," because he like called them gay. And so Kanji was like, "I'll go do it," and he just left and then got into their tent and immediately like fainted and fell asleep. So the girls came into their tent and then they had to all sleep together with like a wall of pillows. It's really funny. Anyways,
wait, why did they leave him in there then? Wait, why didn't they like him? What's wrong with him?
I don't know. They just left.
They must really not like that guy. Dang.
Well, they also like couldn't sleep in their tent because there's a fat girl. Sorry, that's her character. You'll know when you play the game.
Okay, so it was a lot of different things. Okay.
And she was in there snoring, and neither of them could sleep. And one of the funny lines is Yukiko says, "Maybe she'll stop if I put a pillow over her face."
Yeah.
I love Persona.
So,
anyways, So they get to the river. They're like, we don't have swimsuits. And then Yosuke's like, I picked these up. And he pulls out 2 bikinis. And I'm like, dude, what is wrong with you? Every single time I've played that and saw that cutscene, I'm like, dude, you can't do that.
That's gross. Like,
Yeah.
that is like, that's yucky.
It's so gross.
Like, don't worry, girls. I got swimsuits just for you.
And it's even worse because then they change and come back. And he's like, hey, main character, they're gonna grow into fine women. Like, dude, shut up.
So
and your
bad.
2 options are like, say no, they're like, not no, they're ugly, but no, they're not, and like, yes, they are. And it's like, well, I can't say no because that's just mean, but I can't say yes because that's just creepy, but I can't say maybe. So what do I
just do ... It cannot be an option.
There's no dot. Yeah.
Dang.
And then you get shoved into the water, and Kanji's face in the water, and they shove you and Yosuke into the water, and Kanji turns around and his nose is bleeding, and then they shove him into the water because they think he's looking at them, but he's actually gay.
Oh.
And then their teacher vomits into the water that they're in.
It's no.
Hilarious.
Man. So it sounds like the only good characters are the girls.
Yeah.
You know what? No. There's only one bad character, and it's this one kid.
Yeah, it's Yosuke. It's Yosuke. I agree.
Like, yeah.
Okay. Look, I agree, except Yosuke actually has a really sad backstory, but yeah, I agree. Or not really sad, but it is kind of depressing. Because he's like lost... He's like you, because you moved from this. You didn't move from the city, but you had to come to the city because your parents are working somewhere else. And Yosuke came to the city, or came to Inaba from the city, because his parents are working at June's, the grocery store, and he lost all of his friends. And he keeps the same email number or phone number, not email number, because he's thinking that they'll ever call him back, and they never do. But he doesn't want to change it in case they do. It's really sad.
Oh, that's kind of sad. It's like,
it's sad, but at the same time, like, dude,
why do you think they aren't calling you? Why do you think they've decided not to talk to you again?
And there's some other stuff that's really sad about him, like but I don't want to spoil it, but I really do want to spoil it because it's just like Persona. It's such a good game. Like, yeah, it's such a good game.
Persona 4 is definitely on my list. My very long list that I'll one day get through.
It's $20 on Steam, not on sale.
Alright, time for me to pirate the game.
Yeah, time for you to pirate the game.
Yo.
There's also Persona 4 Dancing All Night, which is a rhythm game. Fun fact. And you know our intro, the song that plays?
Yeah.
That's from Persona 4, or it's from that game. Yeah, it's called Specialist. It's very good.
It's a good song.
Yeah,
I do appreciate that song.
And you can actually see the main character's face at the very like when it says "We are TGOM," because I didn't get it to darken fast enough, or I could have just deleted the video. Actually, now that I think about it, but it's like a little Easter egg. So if you want to go find that, you can.
Oh man!
Alright, I think that's enough video game talk.
Yeah. Oh man.
Let's see. But yeah, Yukiko Amagi is best girl. Don't at me. I speedrun her social link every single time. Yeah. So sorry. Continue.
So I'm gonna go into the anime portion of the podcast. Ooh. Alright, so like I'm watching anime, because I like watching anime with my mom because her reactions are absolutely hilarious. And I have her watching SAO right now. And that is the funniest thing ever because she is getting really into these sword fights. She's like, "Oh, get him, Kirito, beat him up. Yeah, he deserves it." She's like at one point she's like, "Just like slice his head off." I'm like, "Mom, no." Like my mom's just like she was talking about like some pervy guy from part 1 and she's like, "Yeah, he's such a creep. Just cut his head off or something." Like, you can't say that. Like, oh my god. My mom is
Didn't
crazy.
didn't you watch what's that show? High Rise Invasion with her too.
Yes, I did, and she didn't even realize how she didn't notice. She's like, oh yeah, I guess we do see panties, huh?
She didn't realize
And
how
then
sexual it was.
yeah, she really didn't. But she was like, ooh, this is so cool. Like she really liked the show, and
Really?
yeah, she really liked it, but she completely ignored the fact of like all of like the panty shots every episode.
Really?
Like yeah, I mean, I like the show if they cut out the panty shots. Like it actually made me angry how many times it happens. Like I get having a joke every now and then, but like it was important to the story, the color of someone's panties. And I was like, why? What? Why is the only reason you recognize your friend is because of the color of her panties, and that's what let you know that that was your friend. Not that they were coming to save you, doing crazy stuff, wielding two guns. No, it was they had striped panties. That's why you knew who they were. Like, why? That was the worst. It's a good anime,
It,
but oh
it,
man.
eh, it's interesting. It's weird. I don't know. I don't know if it's good. It's
See, I really liked it, like because like it took a it's a weird anime. I
yeah.
will say.
It's that's why
I
I stopped watching because I was like, they want to create God. What's happening?
So it's like I don't know how they mean they're, but the way they're doing it is using technology. As we've probably watched that far enough to know that it's all tech based.
Yeah.
So like all of their powers isn't like they're magic. It's all like they're being downloaded with these like technological advancements and
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
And
I
it's
knew
like
that.
whether you're able to use them or not is based on you as a person and how good you are at using them. And it's like, oh, that's actually kind of cool. Like if you're just like not a person who's like, you know, you're not a smart person, you won't be able to do these like crazy calculations for so and so or whatever, you know, or if like this just isn't for your personality type, it's like you want that kind of person. Like okay, okay, like it was an interesting way to make like, oh yeah, everyone gets the same stuff, but like here's an
Huh.
interesting caveat kind of
I,
thing.
I
Like
guess. I guess. I mean. I I'm not gonna watch it.
that's fair. Like
I don't know, dude. It was just so weird. Like, I mean, the concept was like, bunch of people get teleported to the isekai world where they have to shoot other people on top of a rooftop. It's like or on rooftops connected by bridges.
I will say, it's a weird premise. It's like why these specific people? Like why? Like how did whatever created this world? How did it know that they were going to pick up these masks and put them on? If everyone is aware that the people wearing masks are bad and that they are being controlled, then why in the world would they put one on themselves?
Well, I mean, if you're
Like,
trapped there, I mean, you have nothing better to do.
you know, I guess you're right. It's like, I mean,
I
I
mean,
might
I'm
be
not.
controlled and lose my freedom of will,
I'm not.
but
I'm not saying
YOLO.
I would do it. I'm just saying people would probably be like,
Like,
I have
yeah.
no other reason not to. I guess.
Like as far as I'm aware, the only person who was aware of what the masks did from the jump was the main character because the lady actually told her how to get to it. She's like,
Yeah.
"Oh yeah, you want to become one closer to God? Go put on that mask in this room, like 3 flights up." It's like, huh?
Close. That's why God. That's such a weird jump from
So,
from putting on mask. Like we want to make God. It's like oh.
so I think it's less of like a oh I'm an omnipotent god with like actual powers and like artificial god who has control over things. Like because it is technological based, I think it's just weird wording. Like
Yeah.
god
Translation error.
adjacent. Like I feel like it's just god adjacent. It's like you are a god in the way that you have power over and you can control things. Like
I mean, I guess but I wouldn't call myself a
like
God.
yeah, it's
I
it's
mean,
really weird.
when I'm playing Call of Duty, I'm a God. But you know, that's different context. You know.
Dude. Yeah, I feel you. Man. Like I don't know. There were a lot of things I liked about the anime. Like I liked the art style, the music was really well done. Um
Oh yeah, the art style, their panties. You like
yes.
that?
No, not the
Oh.
panties. No, like I like the character designs and
Oh,
like
okay.
how well done it was like
Sure.
drawn. Um,
Sure.
like oh, what was her name? Oh, Mikiko or something Ko, whatever. Um, I really liked her like outfit. Like she had like these leggings that had like a weird diamond shape and like it like
Oh
with her
yeah, her
blazer,
leggings. I bet you're looking at those the whole time.
bro. But like I don't know, I just really liked her design. And it was
Yeah,
really cool.
yeah, yeah. Her design. Yeah, right.
Oh
The boob
man.
window is really important.
Dude.
Um.
Uh, oh my god. Wait. 1 second. Real
Okay,
quick.
I'm waiting.
There is a moment in the anime where she is like in her own spoiler. She's in her
I
own
don't
head,
care.
like talking to the like because she puts on an evil mask,
Yes.
right? And it starts
Yeah.
controlling her, right?
Yeah.
She goes inside of her own mind,
And she's
talking
naked.
to that version of herself. No, she's not
Oh,
naked. She's fully clothed.
right.
But it does a panty shot up at both of them because it's her staring at herself with a mask on. The
Nice.
one with the mask on has pink panties, while she has blue panties.
Nice.
Like,
That's important.
it's
That's
like,
important.
oh yeah, because she's the good one, so she's wearing blue panties.
That's important.
Yes.
Yep.
Thank you for letting me know.
Well,
It's
blue
like,
is a
bro,
good color, Nick. So
you're
that's why.
right. And pink and red are evil colors. So
Evil.
they had to let us know who the good
Yep.
and the evil one was.
Uh huh.
Not the fact that one was wearing the mask of the evil people and the other one was wearing nothing on their face.
Exactly, Nick.
It was the
Exactly.
panties that made me realize.
Yep.
Yep.
So speaking
Oh,
of boob windows,
jeez.
I sent you a picture a few days ago of Biken from Guilty Gear Strive. She's just in Guilty Gear altogether. She's a samurai. And I sent you that picture because the last episode we talked about women in fantasy and how they're usually over
Oh,
sexualized
yeah.
to the brim. Um,
Yeah, absolutely.
Biken is has massive knockers. I'm just gonna say it. And her like kimono samurai cloak thing is open at the top, so you can see her bazongas.
Oh, yep, I see it
However,
here.
however,
Uh-huh.
I will personally vouch that she has good character design because honestly, she is really cool.
See,
Personal, I know you're probably like Jacob just likes her bazongas. Like, yes, but no, you know.
it is a cool character design, but the boob window, man. That boob
It's a
window,
lot, but it's. I mean, I wouldn't wear it on a shirt, but it's still,
yeah. Like
I, yeah.
if it was if the boob window was closed up, like just like it's
Oh,
fine seeing the line between, but like you're seeing almost everything, man.
yeah,
There's almost
yeah.
a nip slip happening. Like
Everything's
she
there.
jumped once and there's a nip slip, all right. But like covered up
It's a
mostly.
it's an
You
anime
know,
fighting game. That's usually how it works, though. So
goodness. Yeah. Other than that, I do like the design of her character. Other than the very central piece.
yeah, she also only has one arm. Fun fact. So to unsheath her sword, she has to put
Really?
it in her mouth.
Oh, really? She
Yeah,
just grabs it with her mouth. It's like, all right, here we go. Oh, kind of like that guy from. I
the,
don't understand that character
the guy
honestly.
from what?
One Piece. There's a guy from One Piece
Oh,
with green hair and 3 swords. I don't know how he logistically uses that third sword because he uses his mouth to wield it.
yeah, he's. I know that. I haven't seen One Piece, and I will never watch One Piece. It's too. I'm not watching 1,000 episodes of a show.
Come on, Jacob. Just
No,
like look up one of the guides or something. One of the
one of the
billion guides that are complete.
guides.
Yeah, literally. Dude, so many people are like, hey, Nick, you should watch One Piece. No! Hell
I
no. And they're
okay.
like, okay, we can follow this guide. I'm like,
I
bro.
bet the fights are cool. Most anime fights are sick, but
Hmm.
I think if there's 1,000 episodes, like half of those have to be filler. Like if Naruto has a lot
Yeah,
of filler episodes,
like, apparently
like
it had one episode. Because One Piece has literally never stopped. Like it's had like apparently like a few like a month or two break at some point. But like other than that, they've had one episode a day every day for like 20 years. Not 20, not every day. It's once a week, something like that.
no,
I don't know.
every day. You're right. Every
Every
hour,
day,
actually, every hour is when
every
one
hour they
comes
release
out.
an episode. But like that anime is literally mostly filler because of just they
They can't.
released it.
They can't
consistent.
come
Like
up
they
with the
don't
plot
like
fast enough.
literally like they can't write a plot fast enough to keep up with episodes they're releasing. So they just make up stuff. Oh
That's
man,
awesome. That's good storytelling. When you make things up.
dude, that
On
that's kind of funny. Um, that's that's literally what the original Full Metal Alchemist was. They caught up with the manga too fast, so they had to make up an ending. Like literally, the last half of that anime completely went off the rails. It had nothing to do with the manga anymore because the manga wasn't up to date.
That's so
So
funny.
they literally made up everything about all of these characters, and it was out there and wild. But interestingly enough, I kind of prefer it.
They should have.
It made a lot
Did
of
they?
sense in a weird way.
Did they at least get like the writer, like the main guy, to get in on it, or was
I
it
have
just
no
like
idea.
a group at whatever?
I I think it was just the people who were like making the physical, like the actual anime. Like they probably were like, all right, what do we think would be a cool ending for this? Like I feel like
Yeah.
that's what they did. Um, but honestly, I liked the direction they took it much more because like spoilers, for anyone who wants to watch Full Metal Alchemist, I
Yeah, I'll
guess.
plug my ears real
Um,
quick. Tell me when you're done.
so in the original, homunculus are failed human transmutations. So if someone's like tried to transmute a human and bring them back to life, it doesn't work.
Right.
Not the way they want. It creates a fake body, but the human soul is gone. Like everything that made them is gone, and they're
Yeah.
just exist as this weird creature.
Uh
Um,
huh.
but in the actual like legitimate one that follows the manga, all homunculus come from the same person, all of them, and
Oh.
it's like, yeah, this one person that shows up like 70 or 80% of the way through the anime, like it's like, oh, that guy created them. It's like, oh, like all of them. It's like, yep, they're yeah. It was like, oh, I don't know. I didn't like the homunculus in the actual one, but in the fan version, essentially, I liked
Interesting.
their writing a lot more
The fan
because
version.
pretty much, I mean, it was like, how do we want this to end? It's like, okay, let's write up a story. And like I liked how the homunculus were written way more because like then it gave each of those characters their own like backstory, like their own reasons for being involved. Because it's like, oh yeah, this person brought me back to life, and like I kind of hate that person, or like I'm gonna kill them. Or like something. It's like you are the reason I'm like this.
Mhm.
And it's like I don't know, it was just really cool, and I really dug the writing for them. Which is weird because it did not follow the manga at all after halfway through that one. I was like, that's crazy that it ended up so good.
Yeah.
Although I'm definitely in the minority. Most people hate the original because it's not a happy ending. Like it's a weird ending too.
Wait.
But
So
like
the manga ending isn't happy, or the anime isn't happy?
okay, so the
Abridged version, please.
all right, so there are two animes for Full Metal Alchemist, right? The original
Yes.
anime, Full Metal Alchemist, that goes completely off the rails. It
Yes.
has a sad ending. It's
Okay.
like, it's like, oh, we'll never meet again. We will never find each other,
Cry,
but we'll
cry.
we'll try anyway.
Yeah.
It's like we'll try to find each other again, but we probably won't ever.
Yeah.
Um,
Got it.
it kind of alludes to the fact that they're
Yeah.
never gonna see each other.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yes, Nick. You said it four
you know,
times. I know.
hey, listen. But then the actual one that follows the manga, it's all happy. He gets he gets his perfect wife, gets all these kids, looks just like him, and like everything is perfect now, and there's no more issues in the world, and it's like overly happy, and I don't know,
Yeah.
it was a little, eh,
I mean, a
it was
sad
it
a
was a
sad
good ending,
ending
but
isn't bad. I mean,
yeah.
I think there's too many happy endings. I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah, like I
Um.
liked the sad ending. Like it felt
Yeah.
like they were still going on with their lives and like this little thing. It was like they're still living. This is the end of this great grand adventure, but like they're still living their lives, trying. I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
I like that. It's sad, but like they're trying. I like that.
Yeah,
But
I agree. But I've
I don't
also
know.
haven't watched it. If I watch it ever, I'll come up with an actual opinion.
Yes, if you watch both of them, tell me your
If I
opinions.
watch both, which yeah, I probably wouldn't watch both of them.
Yeah, it's a bit of an investment. Although,
Yeah.
if you watch the second one, like 6 episodes in, you're caught up for the first 20 of the original.
Oh,
Pretty much.
okay.
Like, because the original had all of like the filler from the manga because following step by step, following very closely because there wasn't a lot to go on.
Okay.
So it's exactly how the manga was up until it was over.
All
So
right. Okay.
there
End
was a
of
lot
anime
of
talk.
Full Metal.
Yeah. I mean, yeah,
Oh,
good. I like a good sad ending. But
yeah.
yeah. So, I mean, I don't like a good sad ending, but I do appreciate a good sad ending.
Sometimes you need sad endings to be like, okay, I feel things.
I feel like you
Realize.
learn more from a viewer from a bad
Mm-hmm.
ending than you do a good one.
Yeah.
Because like a good ending, you're like, oh, it worked out in the end, even though they were bad in the middle of the movie, they still got out of it okay. But with a bad
Yeah.
ending, you're like, oh yeah, they messed up and they got what they deserved from messing up.
Yeah. Like it. I don't know. Like they're just more memorable as well. It's like, okay, cool. This adventure started, it ended, everything ended happy. Cool. And now I'm done with it. Like I
Yeah,
can forget about you now.
it makes
You're
an
everything
impression
ended.
on you. Yeah, because you don't
Yeah.
expect it usually, because it's
Yeah.
always happy.
Like so. Yeah. Like when it does have that sad ending. Oh,
Yeah.
crazy! Now I'm always gonna remember that this ended this way.
And
Like.
that's fun fact. That's why I couldn't listen to the opening to Your Lie in April for like 5 months after I finished the show because it had
Really?
such an impact on me. Like at the end that I was like, I cannot watch this and I cannot think about this because I will cry.
That ending was like it was so bittersweet,
Yeah, it's
but
so
a lot of
good.
bitter.
It's so
It's
good. It's
amazing.
so well done, and it's so sad at the exact
Yes,
same time. And I
absolutely love it.
at the time I was my girlfriend was like I told her to watch it because I think at the time I'd finished it or I was almost done with it.
Uh huh.
And she was like, I don't know, the ending kind of dragged on. I was like, huh? What do you mean I mean, in her offense,
Oh,
yes, it kind of dragged a little, but it was a good drag
man.
because it was like she
It's
wrote spoilers. She wrote him this last letter about how much she liked him and how much she wants him to move on with his life and to play piano because he loves her or whatever. I don't really remember it that well, but it's whatever. And it was really sad and heartwarming. And then all of his friends got together, and you just cry and cry. I was in the middle of
oh,
Spanish
I'm
class
like
when I finished it, and I was crying. Oh
I
my,
right,
it's so good. It was so
dude.
good,
It was
dude.
I I think at some point she writes, "You were more than just friend A." I'm like,
Yeah,
what?
it's so good, dude.
Oh man, I loved that one so much.
Yeah, and I couldn't listen to the. I can listen to it now though, and it's a banger. But like, at the time, it was like This show has ruined me.
Like that's the kind of sad ending that I want from things. It's like he like has learned, like she taught him how to live and how to
Yeah,
actually play music again. He can move on from his traumatic past, like from his terrible childhood. He can move on because of her, but he can't move on with her because
yeah, and he can't.
oh
Oh,
no,
oh, it's so
it,
sad.
it still
It is
hurts.
so sad.
I still
Um,
listen to some of the songs. Like that soundtrack was a banger. I liked some of the
and
weirdest songs from it though.
and I also
Like
just like piano music, so like it was kind
yeah,
of a win-win for me.
oh yeah,
And
like
then I'll
piano
lose
music
because at the
the
end it was
best.
sad, but
Like the reason I started going to like the symphony with my grandma, he was like, "Hey, I'm gonna take you to all of the symphony uh productions that have like
Oh,
piano in it." You
yeah,
know, I was like, "Hey, that's sick." So he always brings me to the ones that are very strange because apparently it's not normal to have like a bunch of piano playing. But like, I'll just see these people getting real into the piano, and I'm like, "Ah, yeah, great."
yeah, and like the animation of them playing the piano is so cool because like you can see
Oh
the
yeah,
emotion in their like which is real when you watch someone play the piano. Like they're
yeah,
getting into it and they're
They
whatever.
are.
And then like in the anime, you can see that, and it's so good. It's so good.
That anime was just, it's something else.
Yeah. So moving on for something a little less sad. I feel like I can admit this. This is kind of a deep thing for me. Um, like maybe 2010, 2014 or something when Shrek was really funny. Like people would say like the Shrek is love, Shrek
Yeah.
is life, whatever.
Uh-huh.
Shrek, I want Shrek 4 to come out. It's so funny.
Yeah.
Shrek is not funny. Shrek was never funny. It's not funny to me. It's stupid and not funny. Um, Shrek is love, Shrek is life is kind of gross. And I like to say Shrek is pestilence, Shrek is death. That is what I like to say.
So,
Um,
why don't you like Shrek?
it's just not funny. The movie isn't funny. The musical isn't funny. The the jokes aren't funny.
I
It's
will say it's overhyped. Like
yeah,
and that's coming from someone I did like Shrek, but like let it die.
yeah, really.
Like, it was a good movie, and like okay, I'll rewatch it if someone was like, "Hey, you want?" It's not my first choice, and I have to be in the mood for Shrek to want to watch that. But like, okay, I'll watch it every couple years.
Yeah,
But like, man, they killed that movie with all the jokes.
yeah,
I do love the cursed images of Shrek though. Those are kind of funny. like, like just random cursed images of where it says Shrek is and just like an awful image of Shrek.
Every time you
Like,
see that, you should probably comment Shrek is pestilence, Shrek is death.
dude. Oh man, like
Um,
the I loved the Shrek memes, but the actual movie isn't as funny as people
no,
remember it
it's
as.
not.
Like, I
The
think it's just
donkey has
because
sex with a
it was
dragon. Okay.
like the reason it was funny was because it was just adult humor in a kids movie. Why it was so famous? It's like, oh yeah, like Lord Farquaad was them making a joke about a curse word.
Yeah.
Like, you know, this princess isn't really all like that much like a princess. Singing kills birds. That was kind of funny. Not gonna lie, I did really like that. She just starts singing, and all the birds die. Okay, that was pretty good. But like,
I mean, I was mostly talking about like the memes around it, but like, yeah, the movie isn't that. I mean, I haven't watched it in a while, so it could be hilarious, but the
like
memes
it's a
aren't funny.
some of them are, but
No, they
there's a
aren't.
lot
They just aren't.
of there's a lot of trash out there. I don't think people know how to make it funny anymore.
Literally and figuratively.
It's it's just so overdone. It's like, okay, yes, new meme, please.
Yeah. Nick,
Yes.
what's your favorite Peggy song?
Oh, Stand by Me, I think it was.
Yeah, that's mine. That's actually not my favorite song,
Hey,
but
is
I
it
do.
actually?
No, I like Love Trip. That's my favorite song.
Oh, I did really like Love Trip. Love Trip was
But Stand By Me is also really good.
like I listened to like six songs of theirs, and the two Stand by Me and Love Trip. So Stand by Me is number one. Love Trip is my second favorite.
Yeah, I really like Love Trip. It's
I
just,
still need to send you,
I don't
huh?
know. It's so good.
They're really good.
Yeah,
It was also wild to see the music video for
for Love Trip.
really can. Yeah, like on Love Trip, you could see them like walking through school.
Yeah,
Like, dude, that's wild. Cause like the
I really
entire
like
school
that
was.
music video for multiple
It is
reasons.
pretty cool.
Um, well, actually, only one reason I can think of. I really like it just because it's like carefree and like the cinematography makes it feel very carefree. Kind of like we're
Yeah,
doing this once and we're gonna have fun with it, and that's like kind of
yeah,
the motto of the song, really. Like it's the song, it just feels carefree, and we're doing this, we're living
yeah.
once. Let's do what we want, and so like that fits really well together. And yeah,
hmm I really liked it as well. Like,
yeah.
I don't. It was such a cool music video.
So that's the
Like,
TGOM recommendation from today. Love
watch the
Trip and
Peggies.
Stand By Me by the Peggies, both bangers.
They
Um,
really are.
Yep.
I'm gonna have to send you some. I'm gonna have to send you some songs tonight because I forgot to after.
By the
They're
Pillars.
yes. They're the band that plays a lot of the music for an anime called. Talked
Yeah,
about a bit last time. Not sure
yeah.
if that ended up in the final or not though.
Yeah, it
Um.
did. That was before the.
Okay.
Because the part that got
But,
cut out was when we talked about. You finished talking about Markiplier, and then.
oh, that's right.
And
Yep.
then FNAF, and then the other stuff.
That's
Okay.
right.
Um.
But yeah.
This could be the last thing because we're at 59 minutes, so I'll try not to talk
Oh.
about it too much.
Yeah.
But so last week I talked about Jacob the Anime, my book. Um,
Yeah.
well, I was writing last night, and I'm at like the final boss battle at the end at the book.
Ooh. Uh huh.
And there's like a little dialogue after it, but it's basically the end of the book.
Yeah.
Um, by a little I mean there's actually a little bit more, but whatever. Okay, so
Final boss fight ending
it's the
scene.
final boss
Yeah.
final boss fat, and then there's like some dialogue and some extra character development stuff, and then it ends. Um, but I wanted to bring it back up, not because I'm like I'm the best writer, and this is my project, but I wanted to bring it up because I didn't explain it very well, because I wasn't really um thinking about it, or I wasn't really my point. I was just trying to point something. I don't remember what I was pointing out. Oh, I was pointing out the women in
Oh,
fiction, and I was trying to. Sorry, I'm scatterbrained. So I wanted to, because last week I was saying that the character is named after me, and they're named after you guys, like you guys being my friends and whatever.
yeah.
But that they just have my namesake and they're not me. I think what I should have said was that they are what I want to be. Like, not with
Oh,
they, what he is me. I want him to be me, basically.
yeah.
Like,
Same.
so when I'm writing Jacob as a character, I'm thinking about what I would want to do, but I know I would never do something like that. Cause like
Yeah.
I'm a very anxious. I stay inside. I don't like talking to people. Um,
Hmm.
But in the book, Jacob is very outgoing. He's not very outgoing, but he's fairly outgoing. He's like sarcastic. He'll talk to people. I mean, I'm sarcastic, but he'll talk to people and do things I wouldn't do. Um, and it's like those are things that I would want to do, but it's just like feels out of reach for me as a person. But for this fictional character in a fictional world with fictional people, it feels very natural, I guess.
Yeah, I
Um,
get.
and then also inside of with that, there's like all kinds of references and nods to things that I've. It's like a Where's Waldo of Easter eggs and like references to things that happened in my life and like experiences that I've had, but then I hyperbolize them. Um, and like what's the other, and like there are things that have had impacts on me,
Yeah.
and they've like inspired it. So it's very inspired by One Punch Man because One Punch Man is very
Oh,
extra
dude, that was.
and hyperbolized with
Wasn't
its
that what got
fight.
you into anime?
Yeah, it was. And it's the fight scenes are crazy, and like the story is whack, cause like it's like how do you balance a hero who can beat everything in one punch against all these other heroes who are also existing in this world and also fighting bad guys? How do you make them seem strong, but also make
Yeah.
this character seem still strong? How do you make them not seem completely obsolete, even though they are? How do you
Yeah.
make them still feel like important characters? And that's kind of what I'm trying to do with like because Jacob supposed to be a very strong character, with his move powers and stuff.
Uh huh.
And so I'm like, okay, well, what would weaken him? What makes him not that strong? Um,
Yeah.
so I guess I don't know. I don't know what I'm trying to say here. I'm just rambling at this point. But
I appreciate it though. It's cool to like look into like to pick your brain about
Yeah,
writing and trying to figure out what you're gonna do with the characters because
yeah,
honestly, like that's something I don't think I could ever do when it comes to like writing a story. Like that's a lot of
yeah.
stuff that you have to go
And
through and think about.
I've planned out. So up to this point, there were up to like maybe nearly the end of sophomore year, or not nearly like at the end of junior year. So like we're going into COVID-19, like when everything got
Uh-huh.
shut down. At that point, I think I had lined up like maybe 18 books or 18 arcs, I guess as I called them. It's like
Yeah.
18 storylines, and each one was like wacky and things that I came up with when I was bored in class. Because that's like all the stories I came up with in class, like when I was bored and I had nothing better to do.
So this has been going on since at least 8th grade, right? Because
No,
I
sophomore
feel
year. Um,
so that's when you
no,
started thinking
that's when I
about this and
started
stuff.
because I came up with it in ice step. Fun fact.
Oh, okay.
In the middle of break, I was like thinking to myself about nothing because I was bored. And there's this kid who had like a tinfoil wrapped sandwich for breakfast, and it was like art. It was weird, and he had like he looked like Hanzo from Overwatch in the back, but from the front he looked like he was clearly Hispanic, but from the back he had like the samurai bun.
Oh.
Um, which is probably racist. I'm sorry, but it's what it looks like to me. And immediately in my head, I'm like, because there's like the woods outside of our high school, and I was like, it'd be really funny if like we had to fight outside, and he was like super fast, and I wasn't super fast, and that's actually referenced the very first fight or the second fight technically where they fight in the woods. That's a reference to
Yeah.
that. Um, and Isaac was actually the first person who ever got their superpower because I came up with his very first, and it was like during
Mhm.
ice that same day. I was like, well, I clearly my character would not be able to fight this guy. He's too fast, you know. So I was like, well, I need another fast character who could rival him, and that was Isaac because Isaac was originally not going to be able to teleport. He was just going to be able to go really fast. Um,
Gotcha.
and he was
Okay.
going to have a sword. So I guess it wasn't finalized what his power was, but you know, it was basically
So his
yeah.
power was a lot closer to what
Yours, yeah. Okay.
yeah.
Another fun fact. You were originally going to have lightning powers, but not be fast. Fun fact. Which I was like, that's dumb. So I nerfed Isaac from being fast to being able to teleport short distances. It made you
Mhm.
fast.
Yeah.
Um, because you're lightning. And fun. Also, um, okay, I thought I was gonna burp. I'm not. Okay, I thought Ron was gonna be like the fourth member of our pack because originally it
Uh-huh.
wasn't three, it was four, and Ron was gonna be like a Hulk, but a dog version of a Hulk. So he's gonna be like a good. He's gonna have a good nose and like be able to smell things and stuff. I scrapped him pretty quick because I was like, it just doesn't make sense with four people as like a main group. At least not for like because when I think
Oh,
of
wait, Jacob.
what
What if um, what if you like reference like you don't want to end up like our or
well,
something like that? Just make a
Khalil was
joke.
also supposed to join the
Oh,
group,
that's
but
true.
he never does. He never, as a joke, I wanted to make him as weak as possible because I remember Khalil always being like very, not arrogant, but like talk high of himself. So yeah, arrogant. I guess that's the definition of arrogant. Um, so I was like, it'd be really funny if he was like trying to join the three of us, like and be part of our team because he saw how powerful we were, and like we just kept saying no, so he tried to kill us. And that's yeah.
Oh,
And
man.
then Cool It, the gamer guy, the gamer alien who is non-binary by the way, because he's an alien, so he doesn't have a penis or a vagina. That's not a joke, by the way. It's really complicated when I'm writing about him because I'm like, I can't call him he, but he's. I have to say it because he's not. He has no. His. It was gonna be Cool Guy XX123 or something.
Uh-huh.
But I changed it to Cool It because he was an alien, and he's a reference to Ninja and Fortnite streamers in general because the game they play is because at the time it was Fortnite was huge and it still is huge, but like
Oh,
and yeah, I didn't like it, and I thought it'd be really funny if like he was knocked off number one of Fortnite, And so he was like, well, I want to become a fighter and become number one in that, since I can't be number one in Fortnite now. But
Makes sense.
since then it's changed to what it is in the book, because it's
Mm-hmm.
changed in the book to what it actually is. Um, and I think this will be the last thing I'll say. Jacob, we did not used to have firepower. That was like fire powers. Excuse me. That was fairly not recent, but it was like one of the more recent things I chose.
So
Cause
it was like later in the planning process
yeah,
with
because
everything else.
originally it was going to be like he was just physically strong.
Oh, mm-hmm.
But then I was like, oh, that's kind of lame. So then, like his second iteration, he was going to have like a thing on his hand that when he hit you with it, it like exploded. And I was like,
Oh,
that's also kind of stupid. And so I was like, yeah, I'll just make him explode and blow stuff up. So
like, okay, I like the process. It's like, let's make him strong. Nah, scrap that. Explosions are cool though. Not cool enough.
yeah, explosions.
Fire powers.
Yeah, and then
Like it was
I was
close, but
also thinking about who should be able to fly, if anyone. I was like, Jacob would probably be able to go up. He wouldn't be able to fly, so that's why he can like fireball
probably
himself
too much
off the
control.
ground and like hover a little bit and then fireball again. So like he
Yeah,
can technically fly, quote unquote, but he's not like, yeah,
an expert.
yeah,
Probably takes a lot of energy and a lot of
yeah. I mean,
so
and I'm really proud of Jacob the anime. Just like as a project in itself, it is like a massive homage to myself and my life
Mhm.
and my experience as a person and my hardships as a person.
You want to understand
Um,
who Jacob is on the inside? Read his book.
yeah. I mean, it's not. It's also not that obvious when I'm like reading it. It's how I explained it to some people is like there are two ways to look at it. You look at it either one as three guys get superpowers and fight off a Fortnite player, well, a Spoon Wars player, excuse me, which is a not 2D. It's a second person shooter game, which is really funny to think about because I don't think that's possible. Um, because second person is like you do something. So like I don't know how a person playing the game would play it in second person. You had to like so I
Second person.
so I think
So
in when I was writing it, I was like, because like there's a part where Jacob meets
oh,
Cool It before they fight for the last time, and I had him like sitting in a chair with like VR goggles. So I think how I'm playing it is someone else is playing it and you're just watching it, and like
I
if
think
you win, you win.
I think I know how second person would work. If two people were playing against each other, both playing a second person thing, like there would be two screens, you wouldn't be able to see the other person's. You would be playing from their camera view, looking at yourself. So you would have to figure out how to do your stuff backwards, essentially, because you're looking through their eyes and they're looking through yours, and that's how you'd have to fight or play the
Maybe
game.
I had it as
I
like
think,
you just watch someone else play the game, and like second person, you're kind of like telling them what to do. But
oh,
yeah,
that could work too.
that's what I would. That's what I had it as. But
Um,
yeah,
I
and
kind of want to play a game like that.
I don't
Oh,
know.
I guess. So does that mean keep talking, bomb explodes?
Oh, keep talking
Does
and
that mean
moving.
that's like a second person game?
Uh, I guess technically, like if you're if you're like telling them what to do, telling someone else what, yeah, I guess that would be second person because it's like
Yeah.
you're telling them instructions. So yeah, that'd be because that's how I think. Like I think about like instruction manual. It's like you turn the screw, you know. So
Hmm. Yeah. Oh man.
I don't know.
So.
Do you
Oh.
have any questions? This
Um.
isn't a Q and A. This is a podcast, and I'm just like kind of taking over and talking about
Oh, you're
myself.
good. I do like your book. I do have one question, but like I've always wondered what is like because I've read the book and I remember reading the deal. I don't know what his power is exactly. Does he create like
Who?
a warp
Khalil?
Khalil? Does he create like a warped dimensional space? Is that his power?
Okay, so he can control ghosts. That's his thing.
Okay. Because
The ghost
I re-
cube thing that they fight in is
uh-huh.
like just like I guess that would be like a dimension thing that he creates.
Okay, so he can create like a little dimension to have fight on.
Kind of, yeah,
So like that's like an extension of his power.
yeah,
Okay. Like I'd always wondered about that. I wasn't sure if his power was controlling the monsters that were being summoned, or if his power was creating this like dimensional space, and he had control over certain spatial areas. So
yeah,
I guess it makes sense if he, controls these spectral things, and by extension, the spectral area that they inhabit.
yeah, kind of, yeah,
So yeah, okay, I like that. Yeah, I had always wondered. I didn't understand his ability fully when the first time I read it. There was a lot going on,
I probably didn't
but
either, honestly, but I'm gonna be honest. I mean, especially with like this first draft, it's kind of off the cuff most of it. I mean,
that's
obviously, I had a plan for it, like of what would
fair.
happen, but you know,
Like you can always go back through after you see what I like for the reading experience and see what I don't, and then just change as needed,
yeah,
and just
that's the revising process in the
yeah.
editing.
I think if
Yeah,
I keep going with that thought process, I'm just gonna explain how writing a book works.
yeah, 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 true.
like, like I started thinking about it, I'm like, wait, I'm just about to explain the process of writing in general. I should stop.
Yeah, it's
Oh
okay.
jeez.
I don't.
You know me. I over-explain things to death because I
Yeah,
find it necessary for no reason.
that's why I was yelling at you to say things
Yeah.
abridged.
See, I know too many people that get mad at me when I don't, and then get confused when I explain in depth, and I never understand how to explain to people.
Yeah,
It's so hard because some people don't understand enough, and some understand too much. So it's like you either over or under explain.
yeah.
It's tough for me sometimes.
All right. Well, that's another episode of TGOM.
Oh man.
14 or 13? It's 14.
14, yes.
Yeah. Okay.
We've been doing this for 14 weeks. That's crazy.
Yep. Well, we've missed a couple, so it's more like 16 weeks. I think we've missed 2 weeks.
Yes, I think we took a week off
Well,
because
quote unquote, took a week off. We just forgot.
pretty much. Um, I didn't know about the second one though, but you might be right.
I
We'd
could
have to.
be. I don't know. We'll find. We'll find out.
We'll, we'll look into it.
Yeah.
Oh man.
All right. Uh, this has been the TGOM podcast where we talk about video games sometimes. Thanks for listening. New episodes Sundays at 1 p.m. I should say that at the beginning because I realize no one ever gets to the end, and I
Yeah,
say it at whatever. We'll do it next time if I remember.
we'll remember in the future.
We won't. Okay.
Have
Goodbye.
a good one. See ya.